In the beginning, there could be only one. No, wait. That's the plot of the movie Highlander. In the beginning, there could be only two. Born not of frustration, but of sheer, mind-numbing boredom. And lo, so was born, live from Isolation Island. Yeah, that's enough.
Hello and welcome to Live from Isolation Island with me, Simon.
And me, Dave.
Well, really, it should be Live from Isolation Islands, as we are obviously socially distancing from each other.
There's always a blessing in disguise. But we are on our own island, so to speak.
Well, you're usually on your own island, but which island are you on now? Antigua, Barbados, Ascension Island?
No, I'm in the dining room.
Is that by the Balearic Islands, is it?
No, it's by the kitchen. But this is our new podcast where we'll be talking a bit of local news, a bit of topical news, and a bit of nonsense.
Probably a lot of nonsense. If you like it, then we'll bring one out every week or so.
And if you don't, we'll bring it out twice a week.
Just to punish you. Just while you're all locked in. So, what have you been doing with yourself? Washing your hands?
Yeah, obviously. We've got to wash hands, haven't we? Yeah, washing my hands, washing my bits, just the usual. We twice a day shower. Yeah, so it's a bit of a funny situation we keep finding ourselves in here, isn't it? But
yeah, it's a bit Groundhog Day, really, isn't it?
It is a little bit.
Yeah, and the hand washing, I started off with lovely silky young men's hands. Now they look like Mother Teresa's. It's unbelievable. I've never moisturised them as much. If anyone
had told me this time last year that I'd consume more alcohol through my hands than my mouth, I'd have been...
Yeah, I've never drunk so much lime and soda, other than the lack of lime and the lack of soda. But in fact, tonight I'm on my first Vimto of lockdown after 3 weeks. That's what it's come down to. The shortage of Diet Pepsi.
Yeah.
But
so I mean, what's the crack then with this podcast? Are we just going to? What's our? I think, the way I see it, our job now is just to keep morale high.
Yeah. Well, everybody's inside, aren't they?
Yeah.
So let's just now make people feel good about being inside by listening to me and you. If anything, it's going to keep people inside doing nothing. It's the thought of hearing us every week.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that should do it. Because, to be fair, we've been in how many weeks now? 2, 3 weeks?
No, it's done the rest. It's our fourth week, isn't it?
Fourth week?
I'm in the fourth week.
Yeah. I know every day is blurring into one. When you go to do a Zoom call and somebody the day before has got in touch with you and said, will you give my apologies? And you think, well... is there a Zoom call? Then you realise that you and them are both 24 hours out from the actual date. You know you're in trouble. And when you're using Zoom call, you're in big trouble.
I bet you wish you bought some shares in Zoom now, eh?
Yeah, early doors. I wish I'd zoomed down and got them, I tell you that. But it is good to see so many people have stuck to social distancing, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to change a lot of things, isn't it? I think for the future, there's going to be all sorts of changes going on now. We'll never have meetings in the same way. I think there'll be less demand for calls for central meetings and what have you. I think it's right.
Yeah.
I think it's, in some ways, if there's some positives to be taken out of this, then so be it,
Yeah. I think people who claims for travel are going to drop.
Yeah.
Considerably at the end of this. Suddenly you don't have to go to London, do you? You can pop up digitally and do the same thing.
I think the best, there's going to be some interesting stories coming out, isn't there now? People have had the honeymoon period now. I think, the novelty of having a couple of weeks at home, working from home, being with the family, being with the kids, sounds great at the beginning. But then it does get to a point when you think, There was, here's one for you. There was a guy caught travelling 170 miles from home on the M6 and the police pulled him over, what reason did he give for being pulled over? So far away from home.
Was he fleeing his kids?
He was.
Was he?
When the police said to him, "Why are you out? What's your essential journey?" He just said, "I'm trying to get away from the wife and kids."
That is brilliant. That's like that thing though, isn't it, on Facebook? The people keep putting up. Yeah. Suddenly, a lot of people are going to realise it was never the teacher.
Yeah. Well,
that is ace.
I think we should have a story of the week.
Yeah, I do.
I think that's my story of the week. So
yeah, no, I like that. How are you doing with the teaching? Because you've been doing some teaching tonight, haven't you?
Yeah. Well, obviously you know, but for those who don't, I've got 2 kids, 11 and 7, and yeah, it's hard work, isn't it? Trying to keep a balance. You've got your own stuff to do, and then you've got I've got to try and remember how to do fractions and.
See, what you need is older kids. Mine are 13 and 18. Yeah, so, well, 14 actually, because Beth had an isolation birthday on Sunday. Oh. So really, they just take to their bedrooms. It's no different to normal for them. I don't think they've even noticed.
They'll be teaching you.
Yeah, he went to his bedroom in 2016 and hasn't been down, unless it's for pizza. So other than that, I don't think he even knows there's a crisis going on.
I've been introduced to the delights of TikTok.
Have you been dancing on TikTok?
No, I didn't do a dance. Not yet. We're working to that. You've clearly not seen me on a dance floor for some time.
No,
we've done a...
Seen you on Crime Watch.
I am follically challenged, as you know. So the first one we did was turn me head into an egg. So,
I did see a guy yesterday. It was 4 boiled eggs. And then he stood up. The one in the middle stood up, and it was just a bald guy.
Yeah, that was me. That's what I did.
Whereas I'm still desperately clinging on to what little hair I've got. My worry is, because it's very thin on top, I'm going to come out at the end of this with no barber, looking like Phil Collins on the Invisible Touch tour.
Well, we've had that in
'87. Like a half mullet, like a bald Chris Waddle. People have been shouting diamond lights at me on Lytham Road.
Are you that guy from,
The comb-over guy. Yeah. Hair is a big thing, because obviously for you don't have to worry about finding a barber. I don't want to let Rachel loose on it. She used to cut my hair years ago. I had a bad experience, Dave, at a barber's years ago. During the mid-1990s, we hadn't been going out long, and I went to a barber's and asked for a French crop, but what I asked for was a number 1 at the sides, short on top with a fringe. But when the clippers passed over the middle of the top of my head, I realised she was giving me a number 1 all over and a fringe, which left basically a shaved head with a moustache just above my eyebrows, to which the woman said, I took my glasses off, because as you know I'm blind as a bat. Took my glasses off, and the woman says, who's cutting my hair, your girlfriend's laughing. I said, well, you could be doing anything, couldn't you? And when I got outside, we realised, I was bald apart from a strip of hair on my forehead.
We've had that discussion with the wife tonight, because my lad's hair's starting to get a little bit long. So it looks like I'm going to be his barber.
I was going to say, who gets to cut it?
Yeah, it'll be me.
Yeah.
So it'll be me, and then I'll get the blame when he goes back with a cropped hair, or a dodgy side parting.
Well, have fun while you're off. Shave his initials in the back of his head or something.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Yeah. Bradley's sat up there. He's got, well, let's not go wild. You don't want people bullying him, do you? Let people laugh at his hair, not his football team. Brad sat upstairs. He's put 3 stone in weight on in hair. You've never seen anything like it. It's like the biggest hair you've ever seen.
You think we're just going to be streets of mop-haired people when all this is over? Just bedraggled. I'm getting concerned about my body hair now.
This is a family podcast, you know. What are you concerned about your body hair?
That's starting to get lengthy.
Come on, let me help you with that.
It's starting to get lengthy now. What do I do with this?
I'd suggest nah.
I think people will be sat at home now just visualising me as Chewbacca.
Well, let's be fair. This has got to be better than that last Star Wars film.
I have a confession to make, ladies and gentlemen. I have never.
Let me set the scene, though. Let me set the scene.
Okay.
A lot of people are going through movies and films that they've never seen whilst in lockdown. And Dave has looked at the fact that there were the works of David Lean and Orson Welles and Fellini and Bergman, and he's going through a series of important movies. Dave, what have you never seen?
Marvel films or Star Wars?
Have you never seen Star Wars?
No.
Don't let me get you to what's it. Don't let me get you to The Godfather or Jaws. Let's get these out of the way first. Marvel, how are you enjoying Marvel? Tell us your story with Marvel.
Well, I've just never seen them. So the only time... Well, in fact, that's not the entire truth, is it? Because, well, you know. Because you convinced me not so long back to go and watch Avengers Endgame.
The last of the movies.
Yeah, so I thought, great, I'll go and watch that. That's fine. And I remember asking you the question in the car just before we're about to walk into the cinema. Does it? I think what did I say to you? Does it matter that I've not seen any Marvel films up to this point?
Yeah, that was a surprise to me.
And I can't. I don't think we can probably say what your exact words were to me at that point.
No.
But needless to say, I quite enjoyed the movie.
Yeah.
So,
and, you know, and it's nice that you're gonna know how it finishes, so you get a different journey to the rest of us, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, to how it gets there. A lot of jigsaw pieces will fall into place over the next 7 to 8 months of watching 400 Marvel movies. Are you watching them chronologically, or are you watching them in release order?
Yeah, no, I'm watching them chronologically. So I started with Captain America, and I've sort of done the early Iron Man.
Yeah.
I think all the Iron Men were done now.
Iron Man. There's only one
Iron
of him.
Man, sorry.
There are. There is. As you'll find out, there are more than one Iron Man.
Yeah.
Yet it still remains singular, not a plural.
I've seen a couple of Thors. They're ticked off the list.
Oh, they're good.
And I've done the one with the woman in it, Captain Marvel.
Now, that's the only one I haven't seen now. Because I did say I'd watch along with you, so I'm going to try and catch up. What did you think of Thor?
Yeah, it's all right. It's not my favourite one so far. I did enjoy the Iron Man ones.
Yeah, they're good.
How many? I've not. I'm probably being unfair there. I haven't not enjoyed watching them.
No.
But I'm looking forward to the Avengers one. I've watched one of the Avengers as well. That was
the first Avengers is good.
So,
how many Thor have you watched?
I'm in the Dark World now. I just nearly finished that one.
Right, because the next Thor, Ragnarok, that is unbelievable. That is
unbelievably good or unbelievably bad?
Unbelievably good. That may be the best.
Okay.
That is like a Marvel comedy. Wait till you get to that.
We'll see.
That is unbelievable. I'm not setting it up for a fall, but what I'm saying is you're going to enjoy that one. Good. It's going to be good. So, yeah.
I know I'm not the only one doing this. I've bumped into a few people now, so I would highly recommend it.
Yeah.
If anybody's really looking, I think I totted it up. There are 46 and a half hours worth of movies if you watch them chronologically.
Good gracious.
So if you've got Disney Plus, you're laughing. And if you want, I'll post on the podcast page the order in which I'm watching.
I thought you were going to say you're going to post your Disney Plus login credentials. If anybody wants Disney Plus, ladies and gentlemen, Dave's your man.
Other subscription services are available.
I'll tell you what I've been doing.
Go on.
Incredibly. I've been cooking. Now, as you know, I'm not a bad cook. I worked in a kitchen when I was 16 doing my A-levels. It wasn't bad. Washing up. You know, I cooked a good salad and that though.
Mm.
I did a little video the other day with Beth. She was very annoyed, so I carried on. Cheese toasty.
Nice.
Or for my American family, a grilled cheese sandwich. Unbelievable. It's a 7-minute how-to video, which we might release, actually.
7 minutes? How have you managed to prolong making a cheese toasty?
There's some very artistic edits in it and some really good shots. It wasn't 7 minutes for Beth, it was 40 minutes. Because I kept having to stop as she shouted through the window, "Where's my cheese toasty?"
Yeah.
I'm starving. So it's been brilliant. There's a guy we both know and his wife. They've live streamed her making dinner tonight. There's a little cookery show. So
What's he cooking?
the world is... I didn't really see. I didn't pay. I'm really sorry, Adrian. I've forgotten what you cooked or Sharon cooked. But basically, the world has become a cottage industry of people making cottage pie and things.
Everybody knows how to cook something now, don't they?
Yeah.
That's good.
It's
So
it's
that was
good.
your dish
It's
of the
all right.
week, cheese toasty. Or...
Dish of the week, cheese toasty. I might next week. I'm wondering. I don't know how to top it really. Fried egg butty,
Right, yeah, that's a good one.
something like that. That's good. Fish finger
Traditional
butty.
fish and chips.
Yeah. Well, I got the idea. Let's not go wild. 3 ingredients or less.
Okay. Well,
I got the idea when I saw Jamie Oliver just knocking up just a quick 3-oil sauce that you might need while you're in lockdown.
WD.
Castrol GTX and a bit of antifreeze. Now, that's what annoyed me really. He said it could be any 3, just some oils you've got lying about.
Well, I made tonight for the very first time chip shop style curry.
From scratch?
Oh, it's beautiful. It tasted just like the chippy.
Was it from the chippy?
No. But I was in
Is it
B&M Bargains.
Go on.
And there
I know
was
what you're going to say.
there was a chip shop style curry powder thing, and all you got to do basically is boil it in a pan. Brilliant.
You should do a little video on that.
350 fluid ounce what is it now? I can't remember the measurements.
350 ml of water.
That'll be it, mil. I was going to say fluid ounces, but that'd be a lot, wouldn't it?
It'd be a lot of that. You could.
It's a lot of curry.
You could service Harry Ramsden's, couldn't you, nationally?
To be fair, I didn't realise that 350 ml is only half a pint, isn't it? So it was. I've got some left now as it's in there. But yeah, you just put the powder in, add your water, and then I add it with me chicken sandwich and waffles.
It's like you've created your own IHOP.
Just because I could.
It's like the Waffle House in South Shore.
If that was in London, that'd be fusion.
Yeah, it would.
Fusion foods.
If you like. Do you remember the place that used to charge you to eat breakfast cereal?
Oh, yeah.
Any time of the day. £6 a bowl.
5 minutes. Yeah.
Imagine that on Highfield Road.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Imagine topping up in there. You chip in at 4:30 in the afternoon asking for a bowl of Frosties. You have to pay a £5. Not going to work, is it? Unbelievable.
No.
But that is what we're reduced to, really, isn't it? And I think that's the thing. As good as it is that we're all staying inside and, keeping our distance and washing our hands, basically, we've become a generation of people with a set of useless skills.
Yeah.
That we won't need to use again.
I'm more concerned that we're just going to end up with a cohort of young adults who are homeschooled by alcoholic parents.
Again, you need teenagers. I'm not sure what schooling's going on.
You know how many kids you've got?
Well, for the purposes of the CSA, we don't like to... A bit like Boris Johnson, a guesstimate will do. That'll do me. Let's not get into this before Rachel's already gone to bed.
Well, this is an interesting way of spending my evening. I've never spent my evening talking down a microphone to a mate in his conservatory, sat on the floor.
It's a very well haberdashered milking stool.
Okay.
Unbelievable. Yeah, I've got a bit of cramp. I've got to be honest, in my right thigh.
So what are you doing tomorrow? Any plans?
Yeah, I'm going to the kitchen.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try not to go to the kitchen as much
It's nice there.
because if you remember, I'd just started the gym before all this.
Oh yeah, how's
And
that
the
going?
gym is closed. Well, it was all right. I was looking pretty buff. Now I look. I've gone from what's he called, Vin Diesel, to Danny DeVito in 3 weeks. Can't believe it. I'm even a foot and a half shorter. Absolutely incredible. So there's no bouncing about with Joe Wicks here.
Well, my lot are doing
No.
that, but I just can't bring myself to do it. I think I attempted to do it the other morning, and then the wife told me off and said, "Cover up." I was putting her off.
I know. Well, we all got under a doorway because we thought the Richter scale had gone off, and then it was me bouncing about in the front room.
Nice.
Unbelievable. Right, so we have been in lockdown now for 3 weeks, 4 weeks. What do you think? Can you criticise the response to it? Are we at that part now?
Interesting. Well, it's one of them, innit? What can you do? And we keep hearing this saying, don't we, from start to finish, unprecedented circumstance, unprecedented times, everything's unprecedented. So I suppose you can afford some sympathy to that, but you've got to look at how some of the other countries have responded, and then look at the rate in which the virus has spread there. There's been lower fatalities as a result. So, it's a difficult one, isn't it?
It is.
I think we could have done a lot more, a lot sooner, personally.
Yeah. Somebody put it to me that for the first time, we got handed hindsight on a plate and ignored it. Really. It's a difficult one, though, isn't it? Because the government, for me, have just dropped the ball on it. Yeah. Too slow, not enough PPE put in place, not enough testing.
Yeah.
Very much not enough testing. And as you know, I worked for the NHS for, was it 16 years? And I'm hearing terrible things. I think you've heard of some nurses and people like that. Terrible stories, lack of equipment, a system really working at capacity without the tools to do the job.
Whilst it might be unprecedented, you've got to, it's this hasn't come entirely unexpectedly.
No.
People, this has been warned about for many, many years, and we should have at least had some preparation for it. Even have to not have the PPE is just a disaster.
Yeah,
it really is just a disaster, and it can only it's an easy problem fixed, and why it was left so late just beggars me personally. I just don't understand why you're going to do that. Why would you put all them people at risk?
Yeah, I think there was a story yesterday, wasn't there, that 3 times we turned down joining a procurement process with the rest of the European Union. We were offered the chance to bulk buy with them, and 3 times we've said no, which would have got us in the door to buy the equipment far earlier than we've now got it. And we've got nurses and doctors who are doing it with homemade equipment some places.
Yeah. I've got a lot of friends that are teachers, and I know the design tech departments are all knocking up some of the face masks and face cards and stuff.
Which is
so
brilliant.
Every credit. But then, I suppose, look, government is what it is, and that'll never change no matter who's in power. There's always going to be stuff you hate, you'd like, you don't like. There's some, those you do like, those you don't like. But I think one thing that has clearly shone out is, the key workers.
Yeah.
Historically, groups of people that really have been at the bottom of the pile in relation to society and things like that, in relation to pay and support. Now all of a sudden we're realising their worth, their importance. Well, say we. I think I've always been of the mind that we're all equals. and that everyone should be treated as such. But I think there are now individuals within government who are starting to actually realise the important part that these key workers do play on a day-to-day basis that just goes completely unnoticed.
Yeah, I think wider society has now noticed the jobs that we don't think about, that we take for granted, really, the unglamorous jobs, you know, the shop workers, the bin men, council workers. We're now realising they keep society going.
They do, and then you've got the other side. You've got the other groups. You've got the community groups, the charities locally that are just keeping everything going. And you know, in an ideal world, we should live in a world where we don't need charities. We don't need those. But such is the world that we do need to rely on these organisations. And as being part of charitable organisations for the last 20 years myself. And there's so many charities working so well together, and that is one group of individuals who overwhelmingly are not self-served generally. You get the good, the bad and the ugly like any walk of life, but not self-serving and working for the greater good of the communities and the people in which they're serving.
Yeah, well, I think that's what's been shown, isn't it, the last few weeks, that the slack has been picked up by community groups, by charities, by individuals who've stepped up and just given their time. And that, I think, is, if you think back to the first week that everybody went and stood outside on a Thursday night and clapped, it was a clap for the NHS. And within 3 weeks of that, have we had 3? It's become a clap for carers and key workers, hasn't it? Because those are the people that we owe a debt to that I don't think we can repay.
Well, there you go.
So,
that was a bit of a serious note to finish on.
It was. We did get serious then.
Yeah. But no, it's right though, isn't it? Do you reckon?
And while we're on, we'll just say a big thank you to everybody. We see it as people that help with charities and things, and thank you to everybody that's doing stuff for anybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Right. That seems to be a good place for us to finish before we drive people up the wall.
It does.
We'd also like to say a big thank you to people for listening to us. Yeah, we will be back again. We're not going to take a vote on it.
Are you going to make me come back?
We'll just show up. Well, I think our public are going to demand we come back.
Yeah, you reckon? We'll see.
Yeah, final demand is what I think. But we will be back again next week. We may have someone for us to speak to. We may not, though, so don't get your hopes up.
What do you reckon? Shall I, like Kylie Minogue, Jason Donovan?
Any of them. Probably more Max Ramsey. What was she called?
I'll have to get our address books out. Madge
Ramsey.
Madge will do.
Mrs. Mangle. Get a Mrs. Mangle out of this. Or an Angry Anderson. But we just want to say thanks for listening.
Yeah.
And we will see you again. It's bye from me.
And it's goodbye from me. Thanks for listening and tune in next time.
See you later. Bye.
So long.